question. Obviously, I know this, but who are you? What do you do for work? Where are you located? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Zach Rogers. I own Hill Country Energy Solutions out of Dripping Springs, Texas, kind of South Austin. I cover like a 2-hour radius out of Dripping Springs. So, I mean, San Antonio all the way up, it's pretty broad
Yeah, it
area I
is.
cover.
I was actually just in San Antonio like a few weeks ago for that Power Gen conference, if you know what that is. Yeah,
Yeah,
we had the
yeah,
conference. Yeah, we were there. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Enjoyed it.
cool, man.
Sweet. Okay. And specifically, tell me a little bit more about the business side of things. I mean, you guys,
Well,
Energy
all I
Solutions.
do is whole home backup generators. So after the snowpocalypse here in Texas in
Yeah.
2020, I just switched my business model. I was a general contractor. I mean, I've built houses. I owned a couple companies, a window, door, and glass business that I sold, some other stuff. And I saw the potential in, branching out just to do whole home backup generator systems. So a lot of other companies, electricians and so forth, they sort of branch out to do a wide swath of things. All I do is backup generators. And
You
so when I
special.
heard about you guys, I thought to myself, well, let me give them a shot, see how many more leads I get. And I just be straight up, man. It's been great. I wouldn't change the decision for a second. So
Awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. What is it that made you want to reach out to us? So I know you said, because you do generators specifically, right? You do only generators. You switched your business over
yeah,
to that. We do the same thing, right? So we only work with generator installers. You said that
right.
was part of the reason that you were interested.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, I know people usually it's because there's better profit margins. There's, it's an easy in and out kind of job, that thing. But like, what about the generators did you like enough to want to just make that your entire business?
Well, it's the simplicity of it. I
Yeah.
mean, I repeat the same process over and over. I've troubleshooted so many different variations of installations, over the years that, I mean, for me, it's very streamlined. I've got very set costs, to install transfer switches, to set the generator, to do the plumbing, all of it. And so, for me, I wanted to increase volume. And
Right.
so I mean, you guys do a great job, advertising. So technically, I found you guys on Facebook, which is where you
Yeah.
do your
Where most people
marketing,
find us. Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and, and the cool thing about Facebook is I was talking to some friends of mine, they were like, well, why Facebook? And I go, well, let's be honest. People from the age of 70 to about 40 or 35 are still on Facebook. And those are the people with money. And so you can advertise on TikTok and all these other platforms, but the boomers and the Gen Xers that actually own houses and
Yeah,
are
exactly.
looking, to do these types of projects, they're going to be on Facebook. You're not going to find them on Instagram and TikTok. Now you might, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like some
No,
people
you're
aren't
totally
branching
right about
out,
that.
but
Yeah,
it
no,
made
you're totally right
sense.
about that. Yeah, because like even when I look at like some of our client campaigns, I don't look at them as much anymore. But like when I do periodically, or even like our own ad campaigns, yeah, it's like you look at the breakdown by age, and it's like 95% Facebook got
Yeah,
people over like 40, 50 years old, which is
yeah.
exactly what you're looking for. So it's perfect. Yeah, it does work out.
So I did before you guys. I advertised myself through Facebook, right? And I did okay. I mean, I got some leads there. Obviously, you guys, probably use some AI and geo target better with some algorithms that I'm not either familiar with or am not privy to.
Yeah,
And I also did the key search word Google stuff. And for some reason, I'd say in 2025, it just stopped working. Like January, February, March, I got 2 jobs in that entire 3 month
yeah,
period. Right. And just to be clear with where I am today, and I know we had a weather event here in Texas where it got cold and some people lost power and stuff. But in the month of January, I've
yeah.
landed like 15 jobs just in the first 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
And so, it's been a record month. Now I'm obviously still installing them and this, like working through
Yeah,
the permits and all this stuff that goes along with it. But the
yeah,
point is that like I've already crushed what would have been an entire quarter of sales in less than 1 month in the beginning of January. And it is
Yes.
because of the advertising that you guys do, on my behalf. Um, and so I think, I increased my sales and my closing ratio in 2025 when I started, using your guys' service. I increased it by about 60%. So the volume of work that I've acquired, now you guys are expensive. It's just being, I guess expensive in the sense that like people look at it and go, oh my gosh, like that's a lot. It's not a lot if you're balancing it out through
Yeah, it's all about the
getting
return
a half a
on
dozen
it.
jobs extra.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
So,
exactly why we price the way we do. Like we try to
yeah,
yeah, I would say like at this point we're the premium kind of option. Like there's other marketing companies that have popped
sure.
up and like whatever, and I've seen now, but it's like we're kind of yeah, we're the biggest one. We just try to provide the best customer service, the best and even if that's more expensive than others, it's I mean, people get the best return going with us. So it's like
Yeah. Well,
it
and
works
one
out.
of the things that I like too was there's a lot of, advertised companies that will advertise for you no matter what your business is. So they
Yeah,
are doing anything from print ads,
right,
to contractors, to restaurants, but you guys are entirely specific and targeted in
right.
just dealing with generators. So one of the things I was talking to, my wife, and I said to her, I go, well, like I'm going to do this advertising. I just hope they don't advertise it in Texas. Like y'all stay out
Yeah.
of my zone. You could do this in any other
Oh
state and
yeah,
use me, but
yeah.
don't use me and then take business from me. Kind
No,
of
no,
thing.
no, no, no. Yeah, you're good, dude.
Cool.
I appreciate it. How did that freeze turn out of curiosity too? Because I left right before that freeze hit San Antonio. I was literally we were leaving after the convention, and I was like, thank goodness I got out of
Well,
here. But how did that turn out?
so I had a handful of customers that text me, "Hey man, the power went out, and my
Yeah,
generator turned on," and I'm like, "Dude, why you got it?" And they're like, "It was the best investment I ever made." Right? A lot of people lost power and called me like, "Can you install a generator tomorrow?" And I'm like, "This is not the way it works, right? This is a
yeah,
preemptive decision that you need to make in the anticipation that something goes wrong." But those same customers that lost power, it was 12 degrees, 16
oh,
degrees, whatever. I mean, out where I, am based,
that's cold
I
down there.
mean, we had this thick of ice. I kid you not. Like it blew in, and then the dogs ran outside. They didn't even put prints in the snow. I mean, it was that compact. And
Wow.
so a lot of people that lost power, they even said, well, I have a portable backup generator. Well, that's great when it's 16 degrees and you
Yeah,
can't see and it's dark. And then on
yeah,
top of that, you got to wield something through snow and ice and slip and
yeah.
break your
Because
neck.
exactly, yeah. It's just because
You
when you
know,
need the generator is when it's most likely going to be the worst conditions. When you're not going to want to
right,
go at 3 in the morning and there's
right.
a storm. And, yeah, like so.
Uh,
That's
so I
something.
encountered a lot of people like that, in their late 60s, early 70s, and they're like, yeah, it worked for me before, but I'm getting to that age where I don't want to mess with it anymore. So, we come out
Yeah,
and do it the right way instead of the
that's awesome.
generic way. So.
That's awesome. And do you know off the top of your head exactly how long you've been with us for now to date? I could probably pull that up.
Honestly, yeah, it's been almost a year, I think, it'll be April. So 10 months.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
1 year anniversary almost. What are we gonna
Yeah,
do?
coming up.
Look at that.
And
And
it's money well spent, man. I mean, honestly, at first I'm like, well, there's no harm in trying it. I'm doing the key search word stuff with Google and it was working for a while and then it doesn't, and you got to change up the words and mess with it like that or pay some, SEO company to try to figure it all out. And then you're paying somebody else. But, look, my opinion on it would be that you start to talk about, man, what would it be like to get a generator? And you throw it in Google like generator, and next thing you know, it starts coming up on your Facebook feed, and it's like, I don't know
yeah, your
how
phone
that all
listens to
works,
you. That's it.
but you
Yeah,
guys
one
do.
just listens to you. Yeah, I mean, that's really that's fun.
That's really the
Unfortunately, that's crazy. That's what I was thinking about that today. I was like, man, all the
yeah.
technology and stuff, and they listen to you and all the algorithms and this. I was like, the only way to get away from it is literally just to like
Not use any
for your
social
time. You just
media
need to
in your
literally be
phone.
away
Yeah,
from all technology. That's the only
yeah.
way.
Good luck with that. You got
Yeah. So see,
Starlink, man. We're it's not gonna happen, dude.
yeah, yeah, they got
Uh,
global. You see that Super Bowl commercial, the Ring doorbell one, where they're like,
yeah.
they're saying, "Oh, you can, with the dogs and stuff, we can, find a lost dog." It's like, oh, you can probably find other stuff too pretty easily with the
You
whole
got to opt
neighborhood.
into a
Yeah,
lot of things though in order to do, all those things that you're like, yeah, I accept every one of those
yeah,
updates on your phone. Anyway, for business purposes, like,
mm,
um, I want to capture, and I know that you guys, try to not call them leads, but jobs. But the truth is, if we can't get in front of customers, we can't sell a job. And
yeah.
so what your service has allowed me to do is look, I got three bids to do just today. Like I
Awesome.
pulled off the side of the road because I'm on my way to do one. I've already
Mhm.
vetted these customers right over the phone. I give them ballpark numbers within $1,000 range ish, and I
Yeah,
say, if we're looking in a space that works for you, then let me head out. I'll give you a hard estimate. So I got three of those today, two more
sweet.
tomorrow. And really, I just do bids and estimates Monday through Wednesday, and the rest I'm managing my crew and getting the generators installed. And right now we're doing two generators a week, which is good.
Awesome,
So
awesome. Do you know how many generator installs you've done as a result of our service since it started, even roughly?
I would say probably 70.
70. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
If I can ask, I can see obviously
Yeah.
the testimonial video online. What's your average ticket roughly, or do you know like roughly what that equates to
Well,
in revenue?
the
Maybe
margin, yeah. So I was going to tell you margins. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But
it's up to
the
you. Yeah,
average ticket, no, man, we're at minimum of 16,000 every job. I
yeah,
won't charge under
yeah.
16,000. But you're
Especially for
talking from a
appliances.
22 kilowatt to a 28 kilowatt generator,
Yeah,
depending on the install. We do a lot with double
right. All
transfer
the bells
switches.
and whistles and
So
stuff
we're
too.
at minimum 16, at the high end 23, depending
Gotcha.
on, some of the variables. And we do propane tanks too. So we'll do
Awesome.
a turnkey installation where we supply a brand new 500-gallon or 250-gallon propane tank full of gas,
Yeah.
plumb to the generator,
Do
and
you
the
guys have a
customer does
plumber on your
nothing.
crew? Do you guys have a
Yeah.
plumber on your crew? Awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. We use a
That's
subcontractor, but 1099 plumber and electrician. So, I mean, the way that I do business, keeping guys on staff is a little more challenging full time to do.
yeah.
And if you look at the margins, I know what I'm being charged, by my crew. I
Right.
do have, a guy that pretty much works for me full time, does trenching, sets
Uh,
the concrete pads, the generators, and gets things ready for the plumber and then the electrician to
yeah.
come out and do his job.
I think that's actually probably the smarter way to do it, right? Especially with having a generator only business and stuff and being at the stage you're at now. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't need to have all that constant overhead of having people just sitting around and stuff if there's not a job going on that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. That's good. Cool.
Yeah, and I own my own chunk of land, so I've got my shop on my property. I do all the sales, so my business model is a little different than some of these other companies. They charge commission based. They got to charge an extra 20% to pay their salesman, and then they put it in order entry, and then order entry does their job, and then so 3 months down the line, my turnaround is 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, man, and I'm installing your generator, pending permits, and all that stuff.
I was
But
gonna say permits. That's
yeah.
like always the longest part on. So
Man,
around here
some
sitting
of
out
these
around.
energy companies,
Yeah.
they're they act like they're a city. They have an internal permit. I mean, I'm not going to name them straight up, but let me just tell you,
Yeah.
there are energy companies I deal with here where they know me by name. Hey, Zach, how are you? "Oh, great, man. I need to do a temporary disconnect for the following property. Hey, when do you want us out there? Oh, yeah, it'd be great, man. Can you come on Thursday morning at 9 a.m.? Yeah, we'll be there, man. Give us the text number." And they come out and they disconnect and we do our job. And then we call them up and they come back out. And then you deal with some of these other ones and they're like, $600 and a disconnect costs this much. And you gotta give them all of your data, the generator, all the spec. I mean, like PDFs and all this stuff is like these people have, yeah. Anyway,
The bureaucracy of it just to
yeah,
justify
yeah,
like your own
yeah.
existence in a lot of ways. I
So
feel
I
like.
try to avoid them. I think that's why I work more Central Texas. We've got a lot of unincorporated,
Yeah.
county areas, and they just don't. I don't need to jump through all those hoops. But we do a lot of work in Austin. We do work in San Antonio. stuff like that. And so obviously, those places, there are
Yeah,
hoops, dude.
yeah, yeah.
So
I haven't been to Austin yet, but I enjoyed San Antonio.
yeah,
Yeah, so I need to get out there. I've heard there's good barbecue spots in Austin too, like some of the best,
yeah,
right?
for
Like Pink
sure.
Pits and stuff, and a few others
Yeah,
spots in
for
San
sure.
Antonio. So that was good. Just a couple
Well,
more questions for you before I
yeah.
let you get back on the road, Zach. Um, Second to last one. What's maybe like one piece of advice that you would have for other clients that we have, or someone who's like just starting out with us to make the most of our services? Because I mean, you've been with us for almost a full year at this point, so you've been through all
Yeah.
these seasons, and you kind of you know pretty well. So
Yeah. Well, first, give it a shot. I mean, you look, if you're throwing money away in other areas that aren't working, give it a shot. I mean, that's where I was. I was like, well, I'm putting all this money into other areas of advertising that are not working.
right,
So if these guys say that they can give me some, leads, um, I'm going to go for it and see if they can. And I mean, seriously, like you do. And I get them all the time. And I'll tell you what, I actually, you probably don't want to hear this, but I actually only call maybe 20% of my customers. I text them right off the bat. And
I
people
think that's
love
good.
text because we're just in a
Yeah,
culture where people will do that. And I will say
yeah,
to them, they'll say, well, can you call me tomorrow at 3 o'clock? And the truth is, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I got another appointment. I'm not going to call you. So what I will say is,
yeah,
well, I can always communicate with you via text right now and give you some pretty broad numbers right over the phone. If you can answer some questions, they'll
yeah,
answer some questions, and then I'm able to vet where they're at. And then to be honest, whatever I text, I have a
yeah,
reference point of what we communicated about. So when I've set the appointment, I can go back to the numbers I told them, the
yeah,
property, any pictures they sent me, all of that stuff. So, I'm not saying I don't call, but frequently, man, I'm not in a position where I can reach out and call. But
yeah.
by text
Totally.
alone, like 80% by text alone, I mean, I think last year I got like 52 extra jobs just through you guys. This year I'm already at like 16 jobs in the month of January, beginning of February. So,
52 plus 6, that's like
yeah.
68. Yeah, just about 68
Yeah.
jobs. So like, that's fantastic.
And your
And your
margins,
average,
man, I mean, everybody's are different, but like,
yeah,
if you're not making $3,000 to $5,000 per job, like you should be doing a
yeah.
different job.
I
So,
yeah, that's pretty much what we tell people too. Like when we take on new
yeah,
clients and stuff now, like we'll ask like, hey, how much are you making per install? And if it's not at
yeah,
least like 3,000, then it's yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we're just like
Well,
you
it's
got to
not worth
price
it,
it.
man. Yeah,
You know,
it's not, and you got
unless
to have a build in a little buffer because you just don't know what you're going to run into.
yeah, stuff
Sometimes,
happens. Yeah,
we've done some of these energy companies and they require like the generator needs to be 15 feet away from the, from the
yeah,
200 amp panel, and the transfer switch has to be 7 feet away from the, like, so now you're 15 feet away and you got to build a second rack for the, ATS and all this weird stuff. And so you're like,
yeah.
well, that
Like,
just cost me an extra like $700. So,
yeah,
do you just play with your margins right, and some you'll make more and some you won't, but you
yeah,
know get it
absolutely.
right.
No, yeah, you're totally right about that. A lot of people get into this and they don't have the fundamentals, like a good foundation underneath them before they get into it. And that's like really a
Yeah,
common thread between all our most successful customers, like you and all the others. Is like,
yeah,
yeah, they have like a solid foundation under them. They understand the business. They understand their sales process. Like you're talking about the texting and stuff.
yeah,
So you got it dialed in. Like, yeah. So awesome.
yeah. The,
All
the
right.
the jobs that I go out to do estimates on, I've already
Yeah.
told them my numbers, so
Yeah.
they already know this is
Yeah.
where you're going to be. And if they say, well, why don't we set up an appointment time to get a written quote, which is really just a digital quote, they're already mentally prepared. Like I've
Right.
already told you, you're going to be from 16,000 to $17,300 or 17,500. So they know what the high end is and the low end is. So I show up at their house and I hit them in the middle. They feel like they've won, and I've just landed another job,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's why we always recommend people, give ranges and stuff when they're doing estimates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
A lot of the
fantastic.
companies won't do it because they get shut down immediately, and they want to go out and put on a smock and bedazzle them with, we've been
Yeah.
around for 42 years and we do this. It's the same generator,
Yeah.
dude. It's the same
Right.
transfer switch. It's the same install. Like, don't tell me, the dog and pony show doesn't work as well anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think right,
Yeah.
and I think in my experience, when you're dealing with more like higher ticket kind of clients or more like premium customers, like maybe you do because of your
Yeah.
price range and stuff like that. I think that they appreciate you just getting to the point and just telling them numbers like
Yeah.
right away because their time's more valuable more often than not too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
And I tell
appreciate
them, look, you can have all these other companies out there. I'll tell you what their numbers are going to be. And if you want to have them come out before me, you can. Or I'll just tell you what their numbers are going to be.
Yeah,
And
and
I'm
they
always
probably
like
done
really
that.
close
They're
to it.
like the confidence. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really close to. I'm like, they're going to be $1,600 to $1,800 higher than me. And these are the reasons why.
yeah,
And this is what they're going to do. They're going to nitpick all of these little charges so that you think you're getting all this extra value, and all that's already included in my estimate. But what you're going to see is, yeah, well, why is theirs $1,800 more? There's
yeah,
nothing. They haven't included anything different. You know.
yeah.
Anyway,
So,
it's all, people for the most part, they are purchasing from someone they trust. That's really what it comes down to. So at the end of
1,000%.
the day, like, you instill confidence in who you are and how
Yeah,
you're going to handle them from the beginning to the end of the job, and they will purchase you and the
yeah,
product that you are selling. That's what they want to, that's what they want,
really,
right? It's
totally.
peace of
Yeah,
mind, and they want to know that you're going to do what you say, you're going to say what you do, you're going to show up on time, and you're going to perform the way you've committed to performing. And
thousand
that's
percent.
pretty much, the business model we should all be striving for.
I totally agree. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head right there. That's you've seen, I'm sure, with your own ads that we run for you and stuff like that, do for other clients, whatever. Like that's really the fundamental, like the way that we write the ads, the way that I write the ads, because I write all of them and stuff for our clients and everything. It's like, yeah, that's what it's about is building trust because fundamentally these homeowners aren't going to spend 15, 16, 20, $25,000 on a generator system with somebody that they don't trust because
Yeah.
it's like, in my experience, at least, it's like the number one thing that most of these homeowners are afraid of isn't necessarily getting like a poor quality install. It's more so getting ripped off by like a bad contractor who's just trying
Yeah.
to, get one over on them. And
Well,
so
when I
like,
get those, I'm dealing with
yeah,
two customers right now. They're
yeah,
like, well, I have the generator. He dropped it off. I paid him
yep,
15 grand and he never
yeah,
came back.
yep.
He never came back. He won't even answer my calls. I'm
Right.
like,
And so people are right to be skeptical. And it's like the same thing
yeah,
with marketing agencies as contractors in a lot of ways. I feel like, people are right to be skeptical because there's a lot of bad ones out there, unfortunately. So,
yeah. Well, they ask me, customers, they said, well, how does this work? Like, how much money do you need down? I go, 50% deposit. I said, and the truth of the matter is your deposit isn't even covering my initial costs. So you
yeah,
have to understand that my incentive to get your job done and to actually complete it on a quickly, professionally and right, I
yeah,
have a big incentive because I actually make money at the end of the job. And I'm not front loading anything because I got to
yeah,
pay my guy to come and set the generator. I have to pay for the concrete pad, a deep cycle battery, all the other stuff that comes with it. And so they go, oh, like, okay, you've really been, yeah, you're actually put in the negative from the very beginning. I'm like, yeah. So
yeah,
my incentive is big to finish your
yeah.
job and have you happy because then you write me that check and then I get to make some money. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like customers, they appreciate and they like when they feel like you got skin in the game too.
yeah,
So, yeah. And so you show that to them and it's, yeah, sweet. All right. Last question for you, Zach.
yeah.
What would you say to someone who's maybe considering working with us, but they're on the fence about it? Because like we were just talking about, people are right to be skeptical of marketing agencies and whatever claims, whatever they see online, right? Like, what would you say to someone who's on the fence?
Well, I did the same thing. So if you're on the fence, here's the truth. These guys, like, I'm not getting anything out of this, right? So, like, and I'm putting myself, I guess, in the jeopardy of you could be my competitor. And so hopefully it'll be, all this marketing will be from out of Texas, but nonetheless, right? Or at least regions that I don't do any work in. But you risk it. And I don't know what else to say. Like, I'd wasted enough money advertising in other areas that I was like, okay, well, I'm the dollar amount that they're telling me, it feels like it's a little heavy, but if it works, I can package that in and
Right.
split it up by way of all the jobs. So the way that I look at it is, if I get 4 extra jobs in a month, that is $500 per job that I'm kind of having to pack in to that advertising cost. Now,
Right.
depending, I mean, sometimes, man, I'm like last month, um, the costs with Facebook were a bit higher, but your guys' costs are fixed. So I already know where I'm coming in from there. But the more leads that I get, these customers that I've done estimates for, I've been communicating with, they come back. That you gotta just, I mean, part of being self-employed and being in business is taking certain risks. Like man up, put your boots on, strap them up and get her done. Like what else can you say? Either you're gonna give it a shot and try and grow your business, or you're not. And if you don't want to and you keep doing what you keep doing, you're gonna keep getting what you get. So, you want to get more, you want to do better. Well, you're going to have to make some choices and take some risks. And there's no locked in contract, man. If I don't like you guys, because you guys are sucking for me for whatever reason, then I'm done. And I'll just
Not
tell
true.
you, like, dude, take me off the list. I don't want to advertise with you anymore.
Absolutely.
Some of these advertising companies, like they want to lock you into a 12-month contract, and this is it. And we're going to put it on a credit card. And this is, no, dude, if I don't like what you guys are doing and it ain't working for me, then I'm going to fire you. So,
Yeah.
just saying.
No,
So,
totally. Yeah, that's why we
yeah.
offer. I don't even know if we did when you started working with us because that was like almost a year ago now. But and that's why we offer that 100% money back guarantee too for
Yeah.
the first. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like we'll literally refund your whole service fee month one if you're unhappy, and that's
Yeah.
satisfaction based too. So it's not even like if you don't get a certain number of installs or this or that. It's literally if you're unhappy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that could be it's pretty arbitrary on purpose though, because I don't want to
Yeah.
work with
Well,
people.
and like my experience has been good. And
Yeah,
I mean, I do every now and then, I'll get a lead that's like, dude, that's Dallas, bro. I'm in freaking, but it isn't even necessarily your guys' fault, right? Somebody's looking, let's say their original setting, for like they lived in Austin. So, on their Facebook setting, that's where they
yeah,
live. And then they moved to Dallas and all of a sudden I get a lead
exactly.
that,
Yeah,
I mean, that's, it happens, man. I get calls, off of, from Google for people who want like a $400 generator to plug in
yeah.
their, to plug in their refrigerator. And I'm like, yeah, you can go to Home Depot for that, dude. Like, I mean, Costco, I don't know, figure it out. But anyway, I'm
Yeah,
always good to customers. Like, yeah, man, we don't do that.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Cool, man. Well, do you got anything else for me, or
I think
yeah?
that's good. I think that's it, man. Yeah.
All right, I'll let
Appreciate
you
you
get back
guys'
to
help.
work.